our YouTube channel, Injili Agenere Asha Messiah, and also to the Messianic Herbal Show. Make sure that you subscribe. Once again, we are in the journey through the scriptures to know the will of Yahweh, to read, and also to understand the scriptures of Yahweh. So for the previous episode, we read from chapter 1 of Genesis to chapter number 25. And today, we are going through chapter number 26 through to chapter 50, and where Yahweh willing that we will reach. So you feel free, you feel much blessed. So as you continue even to support us, and when you are doing this live feed, Yahweh bless and do you good. My name is Cesar Evans. I will give back to my brother here. So he introduce himself, and so from there, we will begin from chapter number 26.
Shalom, shalom, brothers and sisters. It's another opportunity that our Creator Yahweh has been able to give unto us as we are studying the journey through scriptures, reading from the book of Bereshit, Genesis, to the book of Revelation, Hazon, by Yahweh's mercy, favor, and kindness. We'll be doing this in 40 days as Yahweh will be able to help us. I will be reading from the Restoration Study Scriptures. These are printed by the Assemblies of Yahweh Restoration Ministry, and my brother will be reading from the Hallelujah Scriptures, and we know that our mighty and able Creator will be able to bless each and every one of you. Thank you so much, and welcome. Genesis chapter 26. And there was a famine in the land, beside the first famine that was in the days of Abraham and Isaac, went unto Abimelech, king of the Philistines, unto Gerar. And Yahweh appeared unto him and said, Go not down into Egypt, dwell in the land which I shall tell thee of. Sojourn in this land, and I will be with thee. I will bless thee, for unto thee and unto thy seed I will give all these countries. And I will perform the oath which I swear unto Abraham thy father, and thy seed to multiply as the stars of heaven, and will give unto your seed all these countries, and in thy seed shall all nations of the earth be blessed. Because that Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge, commandments, my statutes, and my laws. And Isaac dwelt in Gerar. And the men of the place asked him of his wife. He said, She is my sister. So he feared to say, She is my wife. And he said, She is my sister, lest that he said, For men of the place should kill me for Rebekah, because she was fair to look upon. And it came to pass when he had been there a long time, that Abimelech, king of the Philistines, looked out at a window, saw, and behold, Isaac was sporting with Rebekah, his wife. And Abimelech took Isaac and said, Behold, of a surety is thy wife, and how said you, She is my sister? And Isaac said unto him, Because I said, Lest I die for her. And Abimelech said, What is this that you have done unto us? One of the people might likely have lain with your wife, and you shouldn't have brought guiltiness upon us. And Abimelech charged all his people, saying, He that touches this man or his wife shall surely be put to death. Then Isaac sowed in the land and received in the same year 100-fold, and Yahweh blessed him. And the man waxed great and went forward and grew until he became very rich, for he had possession of flock, possession of herds, and great source of servants. And the Philistine envied him, for all the well which the father's servants had digged in the days of Abraham his father, the Philistine had stopped them and filled them with earth. And Abimelech said unto Isaac, Go from us, for you art much mightier than we. And Isaac departed thence and pitched his tent in the valley of Gerar and dwelt there. And Isaac digged again the well of waters which they had digged in the days of Abraham his fathers for the Philistine, and stopped them after the death of Abraham, and he called their names after the names by which his fathers had called them. And Isaac's servant digged in the valley and found there a well of springs water. And the herdsmen of Gerar did strive with Isaac huntsmen, saying, the water is ours. And he called the name of the well Esek, because they strove with him. And they digged another well and strove for that also. And he said, by the name of Sitna. And they removed from hence and digged another well, and for they strove not. And he called the name of it Rehoboth. And he said, from now Yahweh has made fruit for us. We shall be fruitful in the land. And he went up from thence to the Sheba. And Yahweh appeared unto him the same night and said, I am Elohim of Abraham, your father. Fear not, for I am with you. I will bless you and multiply your seed for my servant Abraham's sake. And he builded an altar there and called upon the name of Yahweh and pitched his tent there. And there Isaac's servant digged a well. And Abimelech went to him from Gerar, and Ahuzal, one of his friends, and Chol, the chief captain of his army. And Isaac said unto them, wherefore you to me, seeing you hate me and have sent me away from you? And they say, we saw certainly that Yahweh was with you, and we say, let there be now an oath between us, even between us and you, and let us make a covenant, and you shall do us no hurt, as we have not touched you, as we have done unto you nothing but good, and have sent you away in peace. You are now the blessed of Yahweh. And he made them a feast, and they did and drink. And they rose up betimes in the morning, and swear one to another, and Isaac sent them away, and they departed from him in peace. And it came to pass the same day that Isaac's servants came and told him concerning the well which they had digged, and said unto him, we have found water. And he called it Sheba. Therefore, the name of the city Beersheba unto this day. And Esau was 40 years old when he took to wife Judy, the daughter of Beer, and Hittite, and Bathsmath, the daughter of Elon the Hittite, which were a grief of mine unto Isaac and Rebekah. Genesis chapter 4. And it came to pass when Isaac was old and his eyes were dim, so that he could not see, he called Esau, his eldest son, and said unto him, my son. And he said unto him, behold, here am I. And he said, behold, now I am old, and I know not the day of my death. Now therefore take, I pray you, your weapon, quiver, your bow, and go out to the field, and take me some venison, and make me savory meat, such as I love, and bring it to me, that I may eat, that my soul may bless you before I die. And Rebekah heard when Isaac spoke to Esau his son, and Esau went to the field, and for venison and meat. And Rebekah spoke unto Jacob her son, saying, Lord, I heard your father speak unto Esau, your brother, saying, bring me venison and make me savory meat, that I may eat and bless you before Yahweh for my death. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice according to that which I commanded you. Go now to the flock and fetch me from thence 2 good kids of the goat, and I will make them savory meat for their father, such as he loved. And you shall bring it to your father, that he may eat, and that he may before his death. And Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, behold, Esau my brother is a hairy man, and I am a smooth man. My father peradventure will, and I shall sing to him as a deceiver, and I shall bring a curse upon him, and not a blessing. And his mother said unto him, upon me be your curse, my son. Only obey my voice, and go fetch me them. And he went and fetched and brought them to his mother, and his mother made savory meat, and such as his father loved. And Rebekah took good raiment for the eldest son Esau, which were with her. I am a son. And she put upon his hand and upon his neck, and she gave the savory meat and the bread which she had prepared in the hand of her son Jacob. And he came unto his father and said, my father. He said, here I am. Who art you, my son? And Jacob said unto his father, I am Esau, your firstborn. I have done according as you badest me. Arise, I pray thee, sit and eat of my venison, and your soul may bless me. And Isaac said unto his son, how is it that you have found it so good, son? And he said, because Yahweh your Elohim brought it to me. And Isaac said unto Jacob, come near, I pray you, that I may feel you, my son, whether you be my very son Esau or not. And Jacob went near unto Isaac his father, and he felt him and said, the voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau. And he discerned him not, because his hands were hairy as his brother's Esau hands. So he blessed him. And he said, art you my very son Esau? And he said, bring it near to me, and I will of my son very son, and my soul will bless you. And he brought it near to him, and he did eat, and he brought him wine, and he drank. And the father Isaac said unto him, come near now and kiss me, my son. And he came near and kissed him, and he smelled the smell of his raiment, and blessed him and said, see, the smell of my son is as the smell of the field which Yahweh has blessed. Therefore, Elohim give thee of dew of heaven, and the fatness of the earth, and plenty of corn and bread. Let people serve thee, and nation bow down to thee, be master over the brethren, and let the son bow down to you. Cast be everyone that cast you, and bless him that blessed you. It came to pass as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scar gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting, and he also had made savory meat and brought it unto his father, and said unto his father, let my father arise and eat of his son venison, that your soul may bless me. And Isaac his father said unto him, who are you? And he said, I am your son, my your firstborn Esau. And Isaac trembled very exceedingly and said, who? Where is he that taken venison and brought it to me? And I have eaten of all before you came, and have blessed him. Yeah, and he shall be blessed. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, bless me, even me also, my father. And he said, your brother came with subtlety and have taken away your blessing. And he said, is not he rightly named Jacob? For he had supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he has taken away my blessing. See, you have not reserved a blessing for me. And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, Lord, I have made him your master, and all his brethren have I given to him for servant. And with corn and wine I have sustained him. And what shall I do now unto his son? Esau said to his father, you hast you but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said, behold, your dwelling shall be the fatness of earth, of the dew of heaven from above. And by your sword shall you live, and shall serve your brother. It shall come to pass, when you shall have the dominion, that you shall break his yoke from off thy neck. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said it in his heart, the days of the mourning of my father are at hand, then I will slay my brother Jacob. And this word of Esau, the elder son, was given to Rebekah, and she went and called Jacob her younger son, and said unto him, behold, your brother Esau, as touching thee, doth offer himself, purposing to kill you. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice and arise, flee, you to Laban my brother to Haran, and tarry with him a few days until your brother fury turn away, until your brother anger turn away from you, and he forget which you have done to him. Then I will send unto you from hence. Why should I deprive also of you both in one day? And Rebekah said to Isaac, I am weary of my life because of the daughter of Heth. If Jacob takes a wife of the daughter of Heth, such as these which are of daughters of the land, what good shall I to me? Chapter 28. Genesis chapter 28. And Isaac called Jacob and blessed him, and charged him, and said unto him, you shall not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan, Arise, go to Padararam, to the house of Bethuel thy mother's father, and take thee away from hence of the daughters of Laban, your mother's brother. And El Almighty bless you and make you fruitful, and multiply you that you may be a multitude of people, and give you the blessing of Abraham to thee and to thy seed with you. And you may inherit the land wherein you art a stranger, which Elohim gave unto Abraham. And Isaac sent away Jacob, and he went to Padanaram unto Laban, the son of Bethuel, the Syrian, the brother of Rebekah, Jacob and Esau's mother. And when Esau saw that Isaac had blessed Jacob and sent him away to Padanaram to take him away from thence, and that has he blessed him, he gave him a charge, saying, You shall not take a wife of the daughter of the Canaan. And that Jacob obeyed his father and his mother, and was gone to Padanaram. And Esau, seeing that the daughters of Canaan pleased not Isaac his father, then went Esau unto Ishmael, and took the wives which he had, Mahalat, the daughter of Ishmael, Abraham's son, the sister of Nebajoth, to be his wife. And Jacob went out from Beersheba and went towards Haran, and he lighted upon a certain place and tarried there all night, because the sun was set. And he took of the stone of that place and put them for his pillow, and lay down in that place to sleep. And he dreamed, and behold, a ladder set up in earth, and top of it reached to heaven. And behold, the angels of Elohim ascending and descending on it. And behold, Yahweh stood above it, saying, I am Yahweh Elohim of Abraham your father, the Elohim of Isaac. The land whereon you lies, to you I will give it, and to your seed. And your seed shall be as the dust of the earth, and you shall spread abroad to the west and to the east and to the north and to the south. And in the land of your seed shall all the families of the earth be blessed. And behold, I am with you and will keep you in all places whither you shall go. And I will bring you again into this land, and I will not leave you until I have done that which I have spoken of you. And Jacob awakened out of his sleep and said, Surely Yahweh is in this place, and I knew it not. And he was afraid and said, How dreadful is this place! This is none other but the house of Elohim, and this is the gate of heaven. And Jacob rose up early in the morning and took the stone and he had put for his pillow, and set it up for a pillar, and poured oil upon the top of it. And he called the name Bethel, but the name of that city was called Luz and Fast. And Jacob wrote a vow, saying, Elohim will keep me this week, that I may go and give me bread to eat and raiment to put on, so that I come again to my father's house in peace. Then shall Yahweh be my Elohim. And this stone which I have set for a pillar shall be Elohim's house. And for all that thou shalt give me, I will surely give the tenth unto you.
Genesis chapter 29, verse 1. Jacob moved and came to the land of the people of the east. And he looked and saw a well in the field, and saw 3 flocks of sheep lying between it. For out of that well they watered their flocks, and a large stone was on the well's mouth, and all the flocks would be gathered there. Then they would roll the stone from the well's mouth and water the sheep, and put the stone back in its place on the well's mouth. So Jacob said to them, My brothers, where are you from? They said, We are from Haran. And he said to them, Do you know Laban, son of Rahab? And they said, We know him. So he said to them, Is he well? And they said, Well. See, his daughter Rachel is coming with the sheep. And he said, See, it is still high day, not the time for the livestock to be gathered together. Water the sheep and go and feed them. But they say, We are not allowed until all the flocks are gathered together, and they have lowered the stone from the well's mouth. Then we shall water the sheep. While he was still speaking with them, Rachel came with her father's sheep, for she was a shepherdess. And it came to be, when Jacob saw Rachel, the daughter of Laban, his mother's brother, the sheep of Laban, his mother's brother, that Jacob went near and rolled the stone from the well's mouth and watered the flocks of Laban, his mother's daughter. And Jacob kissed Rachel And he lifted up his voice and wept. And when Jacob told Rachel that he was her father's seed and that he was Rebekah's son, she ran and told her father. And it came to be, when Laban had a report about Jacob, his sister's son, that he ran to meet him and embraced him and kissed him and brought him to his house. Then he told Laban all his matters. And Laban said to him, "Art thou indeed my bone, my flesh?" And he stayed with him for a month. Then Laban said to Jacob, "Because you are my relative, should you therefore serve me or not? Let me know, what should your wages be?" Laban had two daughters. The name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. And Leah's eyes were weak, but Rachel was lovely of form and appearance. Jacob loved Rachel, so he said, "Let me serve you 7 years for Rachel, your younger daughter." And Laban said, "It is better that I give her to you than that I should give her to another man. Stay with me." So Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed to him but a few days because of the love he had for her. Then Jacob said to Laban, "Give me my wife, for my days are completed, and let me go into her." And Laban gathered all the men of the place and made the feast. And it came to be in the evening that he took his daughter and brought her to Jacob, and he went into her. And Laban gave his female servant Zilpah to his daughter Leah as a female servant. And in the morning it came to be that, see, it was Leah. So he said to Laban, "What is this you have done to me? Was it not for Rachel that I served you? Why then have you deceived me?" And Laban said, "It is not done in this way in our praise, to give the younger before the firstborn. Complete the week of this one, then we give you this one too, for the service which you shall serve with me still another 7 years." And Jacob did so and completed her week. Then he gave him his daughter Rachel too as wife. And Laban gave his female servant Bilhah to his daughter Rachel as a female servant. He also went into Rachel, and he also loved Rachel more than Leah, and he served with Laban still another 7 years. And Yahweh saw that Leah was unloved, and he opened her womb, but Rachel was barren. Leah conceived and bore a son, and she called his name Reuben, for she said, "Yahweh has looked on my affliction, because now my husband is going to love me." And she conceived again, bore a son, and said, "Because Yahweh has heard that I am unloved, he gave me this son too." And she called his name Shimon. And she conceived again and bore a son, and said, "Now this time my husband is joined to me, because I have borne him 3 sons." So his name was called Reuben. And she conceived again, bore a son, said, "Now I praise Yahweh." So she called his name Yehuda, and she ceased bearing. Genesis chapter 30, verse 1. And when Rahel saw that she bore Jacob no children, Rachel invited her sister and said to Jacob, "Give me children, or else I am going to die." And Jacob displeasure burned against Rachel, and he said, "Am I in the place of Elohim, who has withheld from you the fruit of the womb?" And she said, "See, my female servant Bilhah, go into her, and let her bear over my needs, and let me be built up from her as well." So she gave him Bilhah, a female servant, as wife, and Jacob went into her, and Bilhah conceived and bore Jacob's son. And Rachel said, "Elohim has rightly ruled my case, and has also heard my voice, given me a son." So she called his name Dan. And Rachel, female servant, Bilhah, conceived again and bore Jacob's second son. Rachel said, "With great resting I have rested with my sister, I have overcome." So she called his name Naphtali. And Leah saw that she had ceased bearing, and she took Zilpah, her female servant, and gave her to Jacob as wife. And Leah, female servant Zilpah, bore Jacob a son. And Leah said, "What luck!" So she called his name Gad. And Leah's female servant Zilpah bore Jacob a second son, Leah said, I am Baruch, for the daughters shall call me Baruch. So she called his name Asher. And Reuben went in the days of wheat and harvest and found love apples in the field and brought them to his mother Leah. And Rachel said to Leah, please give me some of your son's love apples. But she said to her, is it a small matter that you have taken away my husband? Will you take away my son's love apples too? And Rachel said, therefore let him lie with you tonight for your son's love apples. And when Yaakov came out of the field in the evening, Leah went out to meet him and said, do not come into me, for indeed I have hired you with my son's love apples. And he lay with her that night. And Elohim listened to Leah, and she conceived and bore Yaakov fifth son. And Leah said, Elohim has given me my hire, because I have given my female servant to my husband. So she called his name Issachar. And conceived again and bore Yaakov a sixth son. And Leah said, Elohim has presented me with a good present. Now my husband is going to dwell with me, because I have borne him six sons. So she called his name Deborah. And afterward she bore a daughter and called her name Dinah. And Elohim remembered Rachel. Elohim listened to her and opened her womb. And she conceived and bore a son and said, Elohim has taken away my refuge. So she called his name Joseph and said, Yahweh has added to me a son. It came to be, when Rachel had born Joseph, that Yaakov said to Rabban, send me on my way to go to my own place and to my land. Keep my wives and my children for whom I have served you. Let me go for you yourself, know my service which I have done for you. And Rabban said to him, if I have found favor in your eyes, please stay, for I have diligently watched that Yahweh has barred me for your sake. And he said, name me your wages and I give. So he said to him, you know how I have served you and how your livestock has been with me. Before I came has increased greatly. Yahweh has barred you since my coming. But now, when am I my own house too? And he said, what do I give you? Yaakov said, give me naught. If you do this for me, I shall again feed and guard your flocks. Let me pass through all your flock today, removing from there all the speckled and spotted sheep, and all lambs, and the spotted and speckled among the goats, and these shall be my wages. My righteousness shall answer for me the time to come. When you come concerning my wages, everyone that is not speckled and spotted among the goats and the black among the rams, it is stolen if it is with me. And Rabban said, see, let it be according to your word. And on that day he put aside the male goats that he was speckled and spotted, and all the female goats that were speckled and spotted, everyone that had some white in it, and all the black ones among the rams, and he gave them into the hands of his sons. And he put 3 days between himself and Yaakov fed the rest of the Laban's flock. And Yaakov took for himself rods of green poplar and of the almond and the chestnut trees, filled white strips in them, and exposed the white which was in the rods. And he put the rods which he had filled before the flocks in the gutters, in the watering troughs, where the flocks came to drink. They were concealed when they came to drink. So the flocks concealed before the Lord, and the flocks brought forth speckled, and spotted. And Yaakov separated the lambs and made the flocks face toward the streaked and all the black in the flock of Laban, but he put his own flocks by themselves and did not put them with Laban's flocks. And it came to be, whenever the young ones of the flock conceived, that Yaakov placed the rods before the eyes of the flock in the gutters, so they would conceive among the rods. But when the flocks were weak, he did not put them in. So the weak ones were Laban's, the strong ones Jacob's. Thus the man increased very much and had many flocks and female and male servants, and camels and donkeys. Genesis chapter 31, verse number 1. And he heard the words of Laban's son saying, Jacob has taken away all that was our father's, and from what belonged to our father, he has made all this well. And Jacob would look at the face of Laban and see that it was not toward him as before. And Yahweh said to Jacob, return to the land of your fathers and to your relatives. I am with you. Jacob sent and called Rachel and Leah to the field to his flock, and say to them, I see your father's face, that it is not toward me as before, but the Elohim of my father has been with me. And you know that I have served your father with all my strength. Yet your father has deceived me and changed my wages 10 times. But Elohim did not allow him to do evil to me. When he said this, speckled and your wages. Then all the flocks bore speckled, and when he said this, the speckled are your wages. Then all the flocks bore speckled. So Elohim has taken away the livestock of your father and given them to me. It came to me at the time when the flocks conceived that I lifted my eyes and looked in a dream. So the lambs which lived upon the flock was wrinkled, speckled, and molted. And the messenger of Elohim spoke to me in a dream, saying, Jacob, and I said, Here I am. And he said, Lift your eyes now and see. All the lambs which live on the flocks are speckled, speckled, and molted, for I have seen all that Laban is doing to you. I am the El of Bethel, where you anointed the standing column, and where you made a vow to me. Now rise up, get out of this land, and return to the land of your relatives. And Rachel and Leah answered and said to him, Do we still have any portion of inheritance in our father's house? Are we not reckoned by him as strangers? For he has sold us and also entirely consumed our silver, for all the wealth which Elohim has taken from our father are ours and our children's. Now then, do whatever Elohim has told you. So Jacob rose and put his sons and his wives on camels, and he drove off all his livestock and all his possessions which he had acquired, his property, or the livestock which he had acquired in Padan Aram, to go to his father Yitzhak in the land of Canaan. And when Laban had gone to shear sheep, Rachel stole the house idols that were her father's, and Jacob stole the heart of Laban, the Aramean, because he did not inform him that he was about to. And he fled with all that he had. And he rose up and passed over the river and headed toward the mountains of Gilead. And on the third day, Laban was told that Jacob had fled. Then he took his brothers with him and pursued him for 7 days' journey, and he overtook him in the mountains of Gilead. But in a dream by night, Elohim came to Laban the Aramean and said to him, Guard yourself that you do not speak to Jacob either good or evil. Then Laban overtook Jacob. Now Jacob had pitched his tent in the mountains of Laban, with his brothers pitched in the mountains of Gilead. And Laban said to Jacob, What have you done, that you have stolen my heart and driven my daughters off like captives taken with the sword? Why did you flee secretly and deceive me and not inform me? And I would have sent you away with joy and songs, with tambouring and riot. And you did not allow me to kiss my sons and my daughters. Now you have been foolish to do this. It is in the power of my hand to do evil to you. But the Elohim of your father spoke to me last night, saying, Guard yourself that you do not speak to Jacob either good or evil. And now you have gone because you greatly long for your father's house. But why did you steal my mighty ones? And Jacob answered and said to Laban, Because I was afraid. For I said, Lest you tear your daughters away from me. With whomever you find your mighty ones, let him not leave the presence of your brothers. See for yourself what is with me, and take it with you. For Jacob did not know that Rachel had stolen them. Laban went into Jacob's tent, and into Leah's tent, and into the tents of the two female servants, but he did not find them.
And he came out to Leah's tent and entered Rachel's tent. Now Rachel had taken the house idols and put them in the camel saddle, sat on them. Laban searched all about the tent, but did not find them. And she said to her father, let it not displease my master, that I am unable to arise before you, for the way of women is with me. And he searched, but he did not find the house idols. And Yaakov was wroth and contented with Laban. And Yaakov answered and said to Laban, what is my transgression? What is my sin? That you have hotly pursued me. Now that you have searched all my goods, what have you found of all your household goods? Put it here before my brothers and your brothers, and let them decide between the two of us. These 20 years I have been with you for ills and your female goats. Have you not miscarried the young? And I have not eaten the lambs of your sheep. That which was stolen by beast, I did not bring it to you. I myself bore the loss of it. You required it from my hand, whether stolen by day or stolen by night. I was by day, the heat consumed me, and the frost by night. My sheep fled from my eyes. These 20 years I have been in your house. I served you 14 years for your 2 daughters and 6 years for your flock, and you have changed my wages 10 times. Unless the Elohim of my father, the Elohim of Abraham, and the Elohim of Isaac, and they had been with me, would now have sent me away empty-handed. Elohim has seen my affliction and the labor of my hands and rendered judgment last night. Laban answered and said to Yaakov, these daughters are my daughters, and these children are my children, and this flock is my flock, and all that you see is mine. But what shall I do today to these, my daughters, or to their children whom they have born? And now come, let us make a covenant, you and I, and it shall be a witness between me and you. So Yaakov took a stone and put it as a standing column. Yaakov said to his brothers, gather stones. They took stones and made a heap, and they ate there on the heap. And Laban called it Yegal, but Yaakov called it Garied. And Laban said, this heap is a witness between you and me today. That is why its name was called Garied. Also Mitzvah, a watch between you and me when we were out of each other's sight. If you afflict my daughters, or if you take other wives beside my daughters, although no man is with us, see, Elohim is witness between you and me. Laban said to Yaakov, see this heap and see this standing column which I have placed between you and me. This heap is a witness, and this standing column is a witness that I do not pass beyond this heap to you, and you do not pass beyond this heap and this standing column to me for evil. The Elohim of Abraham, the Elohim of Noah, the Elohim of their father rightly rule between us. Yaakov stood by the hour of his father Isaac. Yaakov brought an offering on the mountain and called his brothers to eat bread. And they ate bread and spent the night on the mountain. And Laban rose early in the morning and kissed his sons and daughters and buried them. Laban left and returned to his place. Genesis chapter 32.
And Jacob went on his way, and the angels of Elohim met him. And when Jacob saw them, he said, Elohim's host. And he called the name of the place Mahanaim. Jacob sent messengers before him to Esau his brother out of the land of Seir, the country of. And he commanded them, saying, thus saying, you shall speak unto my servant Esau, your servant Jacob, saying, you, I have sojourned with Laban and stayed there until now. I have oxen and donkey, folks and men servant and women servant. And I have sent to tell my servant that I find grace in thy sight. And the messengers returned to Jacob, saying, we came to your brother Esau, and also he comes to meet you, and 400 men with him. And Jacob was greatly afraid and distressed, and he divided the people that were with him, and the flocks and the herds and the camels into 2 bands, and said, if Esau come to the one company and smite it, then the other which is left shall escape. And Jacob said, O Elohim of Abraham, the Elohim of my father Isaac, Yahweh will send unto me return unto the country, and you are kindred. I will deal well with you. I am not worthy of the least of the mercies of all the truth which you have shown unto your servant. For with my staff I have passed over this Jordan, and now I am before two bands. Deliver me, I pray thee, from the hand of my brother, from the hand of Esau, for I fear him, lest he will come and smite me, and the mother with the children, which thou said, I will surely do thee good and make your seed as the sand of the sea, which cannot be numbered for multitude. And he longed there, and the same night he took of that which came to his hand, and present for Esau his brother 200 she goats and 20 eagles, 200 ewes and 20 rams, 30 milch camels with their cost, 40 kine and 10 bulls, 20 she donkeys and 10. Deliver them into the hands of the servant every and said to the servant, pass over before me and put a space between drove and drove. And he commanded the foremost, saying, when the son of my brothers meets you and ask you, saying, who art you, and whether you go, and who are these people thee, then you shall say, that they be thy servants Jacob. It is a present set unto my surveying Esau, and behold, also he is behind us. And so commanded he the second and the third, and all that followed the drove, saying, on this man shall you speak unto Esau when you find him. And say ye moreover, behold, your servant Jacob is behind us. For he said, I will appease him with the presence that goes before me, and afterwards I will see his face, the adventure he will accept of me. So he went the present over before him, and he himself rose that night after. And he rose up that night and took his two wives and his two women servants and his 11th son, and passed over the ford Jabbok. And he took them and sent them over to the brook, and sent over that which he had. And Jacob was left alone, and there rested a man with him until the breaking. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his eyes. And the hollow of Jacob's eye was out of joint, and he wrestled with him. And he said, let me go, for the day break. And he said, I will not let thee go, except you bless me. And he said unto him, what is your name? Said Jacob. And he said, your name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel, for as a prince has you are power with Elohim and with men, and has faith. And Jacob asked him, and he said, tell me, if I pray thy name. And he said, wherefore is it that you do ask after my name? And he blessed him there. And Jacob called the name of the place Peniel, for I have seen Elohim face to face, and my life is preserved. And he passed over Peniel, the sun rose upon him, and melted upon his eyes. Therefore the children of Israel eat not of the swine which shrank, which is upon the hollow of his eye, unto this day, because he touched the hollow of Jacob's eye in the swines that shrank. Genesis chapter 33. And Jacob lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, Esau came, and with him 400 men, and divided the children he divided the children unto Leah and unto Rachel, and unto the two handsmen. And he put the handmaid and their children forward, and Leah and her children after, and Rachel and Joseph innermost. And he passed over before them, and bowed himself down 7 times, until he came near to his brother. And Esau ran to meet him, and embraced him, and fell on his neck, and kissed him, and they wept. And he lifted his eyes and saw the women and the children, and said, who are those with you? And he said, the children which Elohim hath graciously given your servant. And the handsmaid came near, they and their children, and they bowed themselves. And there also with our children came near and bowed themselves. And after came Joseph near, and Rachel, and they bowed themselves. He said, what mean you by all these drove which I made. And he said, these are to find grace in the sight of my sovereign. And Esau said, I have enough, my brother. Keep that you have unto yourself. And Jacob said, no, I pray thee, if I now find fake grace in thy sight, then receive my present at my hand. For therefore I have seen your face, and as though I have seen the face of Elohim, and you was pleased with me. Take, I pray thee, my blessing that is brought to thee, because Elohim has dwelt graciously with me, and because I have enough. And he urged him, and he said, let us take our journey, and I will go for you. And he said unto him, my sovereign knows that the children are tender, and the flocks and the herds with young are with me. And if men should overtake them one day, all the flocks die. Let my sovereign, I praise, pass over before the servant. I will lead on softly, according as the cattle that goes before me, and the children to be able to endure until I come unto my sovereign, unto Seir. And Esau said, let me now leave you some of the flocks that are with. Say, what need it? Let me find a place in the sight of my sovereign. So Esau returned that day his way unto Sam. And Jacob journeyed to Succoth and built him an house and made booths for his cattle. Therefore, the name of the place is called Succoth. And Jacob said to Shalem, a city of Shechem, which is in the land of Canaan, when he came from Padanaram, which is there before the city. And he bought a parcel of the field where he had spread his tent, and the hand of the children of Hamor, Shechem's father, for 100 pieces of money. And he erected there an altar and called it Elohe Israel. Genesis chapter 34. And Dinah, the daughter of Leah, which she bare unto Jacob, went out to see the daughters of the land. And when Shechem, the son of Harbah, the Harbite prince of the country, saw her, he took her and lay with her and while her. And the soul of clave unto Dinah, the daughter of Jacob, and he loved the damsel and spoke kindly unto the damsel. And Shechem spake unto the father's Hamor, saying, get me this damsel, my wife. And Jacob heard that he had defiled Dinah. There now his sons were with his cattle in the place in the field. And Jacob held his peace until they were come. And Hamor, the father of Shechem, went out unto Jacob to commune with him. And the son of Jacob came out of the field when they had it, and the men were grieved, and they were very worthy because he had been brought fully in Israel, in line with Jacob's daughter, which thing ought not to be done. And Hamor communed with them, saying, the soul of my son Shechem longs for your daughter. I pray you give her him to wife, and make him marriages with us, and give your daughters unto us, and take our daughters unto you. And you shall dwell with us, and the land shall be before you, dwell and trade you therein, and get your possession therein. And Shechem said unto her father and unto her brethren, let me find grace in your eyes, and what you shall say unto me, I will give. Ask me never so much dowry and gift, and I will give according as you shall say unto me, but give me the damsel to wife. And the son of Jacob answered Shechem and Hamor his father decisively, and said, because they are defiled sister, and they said unto him, we cannot do these things to give our sister to one that is uncircumcised, for that were a reproach unto us. But in this will we consent unto you, be as we be, that every male of you is circumcised. Then we will give our daughter unto you, and we will take your daughters unto us, and we will dwell with you, and we will become one people. But if you will not hearken unto us to be circumcised, then we will take our daughter and we will go. And the words pleased Hamor the Shechem, Hamor's son. The young man deferred not to do the thing, because he had delighted in Jacob's daughter, and he was more honorable than all the house of his father. And Hamor and Shechem, his son, came unto the gates of their city and communed with the men of the city, saying, these men are peaceable with us, therefore let them dwell in the land and trade therein. for the land beyond it is large enough for them. Let us take their daughters to us for wives, and let us give them our daughters. Only herein will the men consent unto us for to dwell within us to be one people. If every male among us be circumcised as they are circumcised, shall not their cattle and their substance and every beast of theirs be ours? Only let us consent unto them, and they dealt with us. And unto Hammer and unto Shechem his son, hearken all that went to the gates of the city. And every male was circumcised, and they that went out of the gate of the city. And it came to pass the third day, when they were sold, and two of the sons of Jacob, Simeon and Levi, Dinah's brethren, took each man his sword, and came upon the city boldly, and slew all the males. And they slew Hammer and Shechem his son with the edge of the sword, and took Dinah out of Shechem's house, and went out. The sons of Jacob came upon the slain, and spoiled the city, because they had defiled their sister. They took their sheep and their oxen and their donkey, that which was in the city, and that which was in the field, all their wealth and all their victuals. And their wives took they captive, and spoiled even all that was in the house. And Jacob said to Simeon and Levi, you have troubled me to stink among the inhabitants of the land, among the Canaanites and the Perizzites, and I bring few in number. They shall gather themselves together against me, and slay me, and they shall be destroyed, I and my house. They said, should he deal with our sister as with an harlot?
Genesis chapter 35, verse number 1. And Lord said to Jacob, arise, go to Bethel, and dwell there, and make an altar there to El, who appeared to you when you fled from the face of Esau your brother. Jacob said to his household, and to all who are with him, put away the foreign mighty ones that are among you, and cleanse yourself, and change your garment, and let us rise and go up to Bethel, and let me make there an altar to El, who answered me in the day of my distress, and has been with me in the way which I have gone. So they gave Jacob all the foreign mighty ones which were in their hand, and all their earrings which were in their ears, and Jacob hid them under the terebinth tree which was near Shechem. And they departed, and the fear of Elohim was upon the cities that were all around them, and they did not pursue the sons of Jacob. Jacob came to Ruth, that is Bethel, which is in the land of Canaan, and he and all the people who are with him. He built there an altar and called the place El Bethel, El, because there Elohim appeared to him when he fled from the face of his brother. And Deborah, Rebekah's nurse, died, and she was buried below Bethel under the terebinth tree. So the name of it was called Alon-Bakuth. And Elohim appeared to Jacob again when he came from Padan Aram, Balaki. And Elohim said to him, your name is Jacob. Your name is no longer called Jacob, but Israel is your name. So he called his name Israel. Elohim said to him, I am El Shaddai, therefore increase the nation, and a company of nations shall be of you, and sovereigns come from your body. Which I gave Abraham and Isaac, I give to you, and to your seed after you I give this land. Elohim went up from him in the place where he had spoken with him. Jacob put a standing column, the place where he had spoken with him, a monument of stone, and he poured a drink offering on it, and he poured on oil on it. Jacob called the name of that place where Elohim spoke with him, Bethel. Then they departed from Bethel, and it came to be when there was but a little distance to go to Ephrathah, that Rachel began to give birth, and had greatly difficulty giving birth. It came to be as she was having great difficulty giving birth, that the midwife said to her, do not fear, for it is another son for you. And it came to be as her life was going out, for she died, that she called his name Ben-Oni, but his father called him Benjamin. So Rachel died and was buried on the way to Ephrath, that is Bethlehem. And Jacob put a standing column on her grave, which is monument of Rachel's graves to this day, Israel departed and pitched his tent beyond the tower of Edel. And it came to be, when Israel dwelt in the land, that Reuben went and lay with Bilhah, his father's concubine. And Israel heard about it. Now the sons of Jacob were 12. The sons of Leah were Reuben, Jacob firstborn, and Simeon, and Levi, Yehuda, and Issachar, and Zebulun. The sons of Rachel were Joseph and Benjamin. The sons of Bilhah, Rachel's female servant, were Dan and Naphtali. The sons of Zilpah, female servant, were Gad and Asher. These were the sons of Jacob who were born to him in Padan Aram. And Jacob came to his father Isaac at Mamre, or Kiriath Arba, that is Hebron, where Abraham and Isaac had dwelt. And the days of Isaac were 180 years. So Isaac breathed his last and died, and was gathered to his people, aged and satisfied of days, and his sons Esau and Jacob married. Genesis chapter number 36, verse number 1. And this is the genealogy of Esau, who is Edom. Esau took his wives from the daughters of Canaan, Ada, the daughter of Elon, the Hittite, and Oholibama, the daughter of Anna, the daughter of Sibon, the Hittite, and Basemath, Yishmael's daughter, sister of Nebaioth, and Ada bore Eliphaz to Esau, as the Basemath bore Reuel, and Oholibama the bore Yeush, and Yalam, and Korah. These were the sons of Esau who were born to him in the land of Canaan. Esau took his wives and his sons and his daughters and all the things of his household and his herds and all his beasts and all his possessions which he gained in the land of Canaan. They went into a land away from the presence of his brother Jacob. For their possessions were too great for them to dwell together, and the land of their sojournings could not support them because of their herds. So Esau dwelt in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom. And this is the genealogy of Esau's fathers, the Edomites in Mount Seir. These were the names of the Esau sons: Eliphaz, the son of Ada, wife of Esau, and Reuel, son of Basemath, wife of Esau. The sons of Eliphaz were Teman, Omar, Sepho, and Gatam, and Kenaz. And Timnah was the concubine of Eliphaz of Esau's sons, and she bore Amalek and Eliphaz. These were the sons of Ada, Esau's wife. These were the sons of Reuel, Nahath, and Zerah, Shammah, and Mizah. These were the sons of Basemath, Esau's wife. These were the sons of Oholibama, Esau's wife, the daughter of Anna, the daughter of Sibon, and she bore to Esau Yehosh, and Yalam, and Korah. These were the chiefs of the sons of Esau. The sons of Eliphaz, the firstborn son of Esau, were the chief Teman, chief Omar, chief Sepho, chief Kenaz, chief Korah, chief Gatam, chief Amalek. These were the sons of Eliphaz in the land of Edom. They were the sons of Ada. And these were the sons of Reuel, Esau's sons, chief Nahath, chief Zerah, chief Shammah, and chief Mizah. These were the chiefs of Reuel in the land of Edom. These were the sons of Basemath, Esau's wife. And these were the sons of Oholibama, the Esau's wife, chief Yos, chief Yalam, chief Korah. These were the chiefs of Oholibama, Esau's wife, the daughter of Anna. These were the sons of Esau, who is Edom. These were their chiefs. These were the sons of Seir the Horite, who inhabited the land, Tam and Shobal and Zibon and Anna, and Dishon and Esther, and Dishan. These were the chiefs and Horites of the sons of Beer in the land of Edom. And the sons of Rotan were Hori, Man. Rotan's sister was Timnah. And these were the sons of Shobal, Elam and Manahath, and Ebal and Zepho and Onam. And these were the sons of Sibon, both Aya and Anam. This was the Anna who found the water in the wilderness, as he fed the donkeys of his father Sibon. These were the children of Anna, Dishon and Oholibama, the daughter of Anna. And these were the sons of Dishon, Abhamnan and Eshban and Yitran and Kelan. These were the sons of Esther, Bilhan and Zawan and Akan. These were the sons of Dishan, Uts and Alan. These were the chiefs of the Horite, chief Rotan, the chief Shobal, the chief Sibon, chief Anna, chief Dison, chief Esther, and chief Disan. These were the chiefs of the Horites, according to their chiefs in the land of Seir. These were the sovereigns who reigned in the land of Edom before any sovereign reigned over the children of Israel. And Bela the son of Beor reigned in Edom, and the name of his city was Dinhabah. And Bela died, and Jacob son of Zerah, and Yobab son of Zerah of Bozrah reigned in his place. And Yobab died, and Husham of the land of the Temanite reigned in his place. And Husham died, and Hadad son of Bedad, who smote Midaim in the field of Moab, reigned in his place. And the name of that city was Awith. And Hadad died in Salmlah, and Masrek reigned in his place. And Salma died in Shaul of Rehoboth of Nahal reigned in his place. And Shaul died, and Baal-Hanan of Akbor reigned in his place. And Baal-Hanan, son of Akbor, died, and Hadad reigned in his place. And the name of the city was Pa'o. And his wife's name was Mehetabel, the daughter of Matred, the daughter of Ahab. And these were the names of the chiefs of Esau, according to their clans, their places, by their names: Chief Timnah, Chief Alva, Chief Jephthah, Chief Oholibama, Chief Ela, Chief Bihon, Chief Kenaz, Chief Teman, Chief Mikbal, Chief Magdiel, Chief Elam. These were the chiefs of Edom according to their dwelling places, the land of their possessions. Esau was the father of the Edomites. Genesis chapter 37, verse number 1. And Jacob dwelt in the land of his father, sojourning in the land of Canaan. This is the genealogy of Jacob. Joseph, brother, went to Joseph, brother. This is the genealogy of Jacob. Joseph, brother, 17 years old, was feeding the flock with his brothers, and the young man was with the sons of Bilhah, the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives. And Joseph brought an evil report of the man of his father. And Israel loved Joseph all his brothers because he was the son of his old age, and he made him a wrong robber. But when his brothers saw that their father loved him more than all his brothers, they hated him and were not able to speak visibly to him. And Joseph dreamed a dream and told it to his brothers, so they hated him even more. And he said to them, "Please listen to this dream which I have dreamed. See, binding sheaves in the midst of the field, and see, my sheep rose and up and also stood up, and see, your sheep stood and all around and bowed down to my sheep." And his brother said to him, "Shall you indeed reign over us? Shall you indeed rule over us?" So they hated him even more of his dreams and of his words. And he dreamed, and he dreamed still another dream, and related it to his brothers, and said, "See, I have dreamed another dream. See, the sun, the moon, and the 11 stars bowed down to me." And he related to his fathers and his brothers, and his father rebuked him and said to him, "What is this dream that you have dreamed? Shall we, your mother and I, and your brothers indeed come to bow down to the earth before you?" And his brothers invited him, but his father guarded the word. And his brothers went to feed their father's flock in Shechem. And Israel said to Joseph, "Are not your brothers feeding in Shechem? Come, I send you to them." So he said to him, "Here I am." And he said to him, "Please go and see if it is well with your brothers and well with the sheep, and bring back word to me." So he sent him out of the valley of Hebron, and he went out to Shechem. A certain man found him, and see, he was wandering in the field. And the man asked him, saying, "What do you seek?" And he said, "I am seeking my brothers. Please inform me where they are feeding their sheep." The man said, "They have left here, for I heard them say, 'Let us go towards Dothan.'" So Joseph went after his brothers and found them in Dothan, and they saw him from a distance, and before he came near to them, they plotted against to kill him. They said to each other, See, this master of dreams is coming. Now then come and let us now kill him and throw him into a pit, and shall say, come, some wild beast has devoured him. Let us then see what comes of his dreams. But Reuben had and rescued him from their hands and said, let us not take his life. And Reuben said to them, shed no blood, throw him into the pit which is in the wilderness, and do not lay a hand on him, in order to rescue him out of their hands and bring him back to his father. So it came to me, when Joseph had come to his brothers, that they stripped Joseph of his robe, the long robe which was on him. And they took him and threw him into a pit, and the pit was empty. There was no water in it. They sat down to eat a meal, and they lifted their eyes and looked and saw a company of Ishmaelites coming from Gilead with their camels bearing spices and balm and myrrh, and going to take them down to Mizraim. And Yehuda said to his brothers, what will we gain if we kill our brother and conceal his blood? Come and let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him. For he is our brother, our flesh, and his brothers listen. And men, Midianites passed by, so they pulled Joseph up and lifted him out of the pit, sold him to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver, and they took Joseph to the Mizraim. And Reuben returned to the pit to see Joseph, and see Joseph was not in the pit, and he tore his garments. And he returned to his brothers and said, the boy is gone, and I, where am I to go? So they took Joseph's robe and killed a male goat, and dipped the robe in the blood. And they sent the wrong robe and brought it to their fathers, and said, we have found this. Please look, is it the robe of your son or not? And he recognized it and said, it is my son's robe. An evil beast has devoured him. Joseph is torn to pieces, and Yaakov tore his garment and put sackcloth on his waist, and mourned for his son many days. And all his sons and all his daughters arose to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted, and he said, now let me go down into the grave of to my son in mourning. So his father wept for him. And the Midianites had sold him in Mizraim to Potiphar, officer of Pharaoh, and a captain of the guard.
Genesis chapter 38. Genesis chapter. It came to pass at that time that Judah went down from his brethren and turned into a certain Adulamite, whose name was Hiram. And Judah saw there was a daughter of a certain Canaanite, whose name was Shunam. And he took her and went in unto her. And she conceived and bare a son and called his name Er. And she conceived again and bare a son and called his name Onan. And she yet conceived and bare a son and called his name Selah. And he was at Jebus when she bare him. And Judah took a wife for Er, husband whose name was Tamar. And Er, Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the sight of Yahweh, and Yahweh slew him. And Judah said unto Onan, go into your brother's wife, and marry her, and raise up the seed of your brother. And Onan knew that the seed should not be his. And it came to pass when he went in of his brother's wife, that he spilled it on the ground, lest he should give seed to his brother. And this thing which he did pleased Yahweh, wherefore he slew him also. He said, Judah to Tamar his daughter-in-law, remain a widow at their father's house, till Selah my son be grown, for he said, lest peradventure he died also as his brother did. And Tamar went and dwelt in the father's house, and in the process of time the daughter of Shua, Judah's wife, died. And Judah was comforted and went up unto his sheep shears to Timnath, he and his friend Hiram the Adulamite. And it was told Tamar, saying, behold, the father-in-law goes up to Timnath to share his sheep. And he put her widow's garment off from her, and covered her with a veil, and wrapped herself and sat in a different place which is by the way of Timnath. And she saw that Selah was grown, and she was given unto him wife. When Judah saw her, he thought he to be unhallowed because she had covered her face. And he turned unto her by the way and said, Go to, I pray you, let me come in unto you. He knew not that she was his daughter-in-law. She said, What will you give me that you may come in unto me? And he said, I will send thee a kid from the flock. And he said, Will you give me a pledge till you send it? And he said, What pledge shall I give you? And he said, Your signet and your bracelet and your staff that is in your hand. And he gave it to her. He came in unto her, and she confessed by him. And she rose and went and laid by her veil from her, and put on the garments of her widowhood. And Judah sent the kid of the hand of his friend the Adullamite to receive his pledge from the woman's hand, but he found her not. Then he asked the men of that place, saying, Where is the harlot that was openly by the wayside? Then they said, There was no harlot in this place. And he returned to Judah and said, I cannot find her. And also the men of the place said that there was no harlot. And Judah said, Let her take it to her, lest we be ashamed. Behold, I sent this kid as thou hast not found her. It came to pass about 3 months after that it was told Judah, saying, Tamar, your daughter-in-law, has played the harlot, and also, behold, she is with this child by whom. And Judah said, Bring her forth and let her be burned. And she was brought forth. He sent to her father-in-law, saying, By the man whose these are, I am with child. And he said, The son, I pray thee, whose are these, the segment, the bracelet, and the staff? And Judah acknowledged them and said, She has been more righteous than I, because that I gave her not to sell her my son, and he knew her again no more. And it came to pass in time of her travel that behold, twins were in her womb. It came to pass when she traveled that one put out of his hand, and the midwife took the bond upon his hand, a scarlet thread, saying, This came out first. And it came to pass as he drew back his hand, that behold, his brother came out, and he said, How hast you broken forth? This spirit be upon you. Therefore, his name was Perez. And afterwards came out his brother that had the scarlet thread upon his hand, and his name was Zara. Genesis chapter 39. And Joseph was brought down to Egypt, and Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, captain of the guard, the Egyptian, brought him the hands of the Ishmaelites, which had brought him down there. And Yahweh was with Joseph, and he was a prosperous man. He was in the house of his master, the Egyptian. And his master saw that Joseph was with him, and that Yahweh made all that he did prosper in his hand. And Joseph found grace in the sight, and he served him, and he made him overseer of his house, and all that he had he put in hand. And it came to pass from the time that he had made him overseer in his house, that he and all over he had, all he had, that Yahweh blessed the Egyptian's house for Joseph's sake. And the blessing of Yahweh was upon that he had in the house and in the field. And he left all that he had in Joseph's hand, and he knew not aught he had, save the bread which he did. And Joseph was a godly person and well favored. It came to pass after this thing that his master's wife cast her eye upon Joseph, and he said, Lie with me. But he refused and said unto his master's wife, Behold, you not have to my hand, there is none greater in this house than I, neither have ye kept back anything from me, but because you are my wife, how then can I do this great wicked and sin against Elohim? And it came to pass as he spoke to Joseph day by day, that he hearkened not unto her to lie by her, nor to be with her. And it came to pass about this time that Joseph went into the house to do his business, and there was none in the house there were within. And she caught him by his garment, saying, Lie with me. And he left his garment in her hand, and fled and brought him out. And it came to pass when she heard that he had left his garment in her hands, and was fled from. And she called unto the men of her house, and speak unto them, saying, See, he that brought in an Hebrew unto us to mock us, he came in unto me to lie with me. and I cried with a loud voice. And it came to pass when he heard that I lifted my voice and cried, that he left his garment with me and fled. And she got him out. And she laid up his garment to her until his surveying came home. And he spake unto him according to this word, saying, the Hebrew servant which you have brought unto us came in and took unto me to mock me. And it came to pass, I lifted up my voice and cried, and he left his garment with me and fled out. And it came to pass when his masters heard the words of his wife, which spake unto him, saying, after this manner did thy servant to me, that his word was kindled. And Joseph's masters took him and put him into the prison, a place where the king's prisoners were born. And he was in there in the prison. But Yahweh was with Joseph and showed him mercy and gave him favor in the sight of the keeper of the prison. And the keeper of the prison committed to Joseph's hand all the prisoners that were in the prison, and whosoever they did there, he was the doer of it. The keeper of the prison looked not to anything that was under his hand, because Yahweh was with him, and that which he did, Yahweh made it prosper. Genesis chapter 14. And it came to pass after these things that the butler, the king of Egypt, and his baker had offended their surveying of the king of Egypt. And Pharaoh was wroth against two of his officers, against the chief of the blatters, and against the chief of the bankers. And he put them in the ward in the house of the captain of the guard into the prison, the place where Joseph was born. And the captain of the guard charged Joseph with them, and he served them, and they continued a season in one. And they dreamed a dream, both of them, each man his dream one night, each man according to the interpretation of his dream. The butter and baker of the king of Egypt, which were born in the prison. And Joseph came in unto them in the morning upon them, and behold, they were sad. And he asked Pharaoh's officer, what? And he asked the Pharaoh officer that were with him in the ward of his surveying house, saying, wherefore look you so sadly today? That they said unto him, we have dreamed a dream, that there is no interpreter of it. And Joseph said unto them, do not interpretation belong to Elohim? Tell me them, I pray you. And the chief butler told his dream to Joseph and said to him, in my dream, behold, a vine was before me, and in the vine were three branches, and it was as though it blunted, and her blossom shot out forth and scattered therefore brought forth ripe grapes. And Pharaoh's cup was in my hand, and I took the grapes and pressed them into Pharaoh's cup, and I gave the cup into Pharaoh's hand. And Joseph said unto him, this is the interpretation of it. The three branches are 3 days. Yet within 3 days shall Pharaoh lift up thy head and restore unto thee thy place. And you shall deliver Pharaoh's cup into his hand after the former manner which you was in battle. But think on me when it shall be well with you, and show kindness, I pray you unto me, and make mention unto me Pharaoh to bring me out of this house. For indeed I was stolen away out of the land of the Hebrews, and here also I have done nothing, but they should put me in the dark room. And when the chief baker saw that the interpretation was good, he said out to Joseph, I also was in my dream, and behold, I had 3 white baskets in my head, and in the uppermost basket there was all manner of baked for Pharaoh, and the birds did eat them out of the basket upon my head. And Joseph answered and said, this is the interpretation thereof. The 3 baskets are 3 days. Yet within 3 days shall Pharaoh lift up your head from off you, and you shall hang you on a tree, and the birds shall eat your flesh off from off there. And it shall come to pass in that day which Pharaoh bade this, that he made a feast unto all servants, and lifted up the head of the chief butler, of the chief baker among his servants. And he restored the chief butler unto his butlership again, he gave the cup into Pharaoh's hand. But he hung the chief baker, and Joseph had interpreted to them. Yet did not the chief butler remember Joseph, but forgot him.
Genesis chapter number 41, verse number 1. And it came to be at the end of the 2 years' time that Pharaoh had a dream and saw him standing by the river, and saw 7 cows coming out of the river, fine looking and fat, and they fed amongst the reeds. They saw 7 other cows coming up after them out of the river, hungry and green or fresh, and stood by the other cows on the bank of the river. And the ugly and green or fresh cows ate up the 7 fine looking and fat cows. Then Pharaoh awoke
And he slept and dreamt a second time and saw 7 heaps of grains coming up on one stalk, plump and good, and saw 7 green heads scorched by the east wind coming up after them. The 7 green heads swallowed the 7 plump and complete heads. Then Pharaoh awoke and saw it was a dream. It came to be the morning that his spirit was moved, and he sent and called for all the magicians of Mizraim and all the wise men. Pharaoh related to them dreams, but there was no one who could interpret them for Pharaoh. Then the chief cupbearer spoke to Pharaoh, saying, I remember my crimes this day, when Pharaoh was wroth with his servants and put me in confinement in the house of the captain of the guard. Both me and the chief baker, each one of us dreamt a dream in one night. He and I, each of us, dreamed according to the interpretation of his own dream. And there was with us an Hebrew youth, a servant of the captain of the guard. And we related to him. We interpreted our dreams for us, to each man interpreted according to his own dream. It came to be as he interpreted for us. So it came to be, he restored me to my office and he hanged him. Then Pharaoh sent and called Joseph, and they hurriedly brought him out of the dungeon. And he shaved and changed his garments and came to Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said to Joseph, I have dreamt a dream. There is no one to interpret it. Now, I myself have heard it said of you that you understand a dream to interpret it. And Joseph answered Pharaoh, saying, it is not me. Let Elohim answer Pharaoh with peace. And Pharaoh said to Joseph, see, in my dream, I stood on the bank of the river and saw 7 cows coming out of the river, fine looking and fat, and they fed amongst the reeds. Then saw 7 other cows coming up after them, poor and very ugly, clean of flesh, such ugliness I have never seen in all the land of Israel. And the lean of fresh and ugly cows ate up the first 7 fat cows, yet when they had eaten them up, no one would have known that they had eaten them, for they were as ugly as that of the beginning. Then I awoke. I also looked in the dream, and I saw the 7 heads coming up on one stalk, complete and good. Then saw 7 heads with that dream scorched by the east wind coming up after them. And the green head swallowed the 7 goats' heads, and I spoke to the magicians, but there was no more who could explain it to me. And Joseph said to Pharaoh, the dream of Pharaoh is one. Elohim has shown Pharaoh what he is about to do. The 7 good cows are 7 years, the 7 good heads are 7 years. It is one. The 7 green and ugly cows which came up 7 showed Pharaoh what he is about to do. What he is about to do. See, 7 years and great plenty are coming in all the land of Israel, but after them, the 7 years of scarcity of food, they shall arise, and all the plenty be forgotten in the land of Israel, and the scarcity of food shall destroy the land. Shall destroy the land. Verse number 31. The plenty shall not be remembered in the land because of the scarcity of food following, for it is very severe. And the dream was repeated to Pharaoh twice, because the word is established by Elohim, and Elohim is hastening to do it. And now, then Pharaoh looked for a discerning and wise man and appoint him over the land of Israel. And let Pharaoh do this, let him appoint overseers over the land to take up 1/5 of the land of Israel, 7 years of plenty. And let them gather all the food of those good years, and I'll come in and store up again under the hand of Pharaoh, and let them keep food in the cities. And the food shall be for a store for the land of the 7 years of scarcity of food, which shall be in the land of Israel. And do not let the land be cut off by the scarcity of food, and let the word, and the word was good in the eyes of Pharaoh and in the eyes of all his servants. And Pharaoh said to his servant, could we find another like him
a man in whom is the work of Elohim? Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, since Elohim has shown you all this, there is no one as discerning and wise as you. Be over my house, you yourself, and at your word, all my people shall be equipped. Only in the one groan, I am greater than you. And Pharaoh said to Joseph, see, I have appointed you over all the land of Israel. And Pharaoh took his sealing off his hand and put it on Joseph's hand. And he dressed him in garments of fine linen and put a gold chain around his neck. And he had him ride in the second chariot which he had, and they cried out before him, bow the knee. And he appointed him over all the land of Israel. And Pharaoh said to Joseph, I am Pharaoh, and I without you, let no man lift his hand or foot in all the land of Israel. And Pharaoh called Joseph the name Zephanath Paneah, and he gave him as a wife, Asenath, daughter of Potiphera, priest of On. And Joseph went out over all the land of Israel. Now Joseph was 30 years old when he stood before Pharaoh, the sovereign of Israel. And Joseph went out from the presence of Pharaoh and went throughout all the land of Israel. And in the 7 years of plenty, the ground brought forth generously. And he gathered all the food of the 7 years which were in the land of Israel, laid up the food in the cities. He dried up in every city the food of the fields which surrounded them. Thus Joseph gathered very much grain and the sand of the sea, until the cost counting of it was without number. And to Joseph were born 2 sons before the years of scarcity of food came, whom as another daughter of Potiphera, priest of On, bore to him. And Joseph called the name of the firstborn Manasseh, and for Elohim has made me forget all my toil and all my father's house. And the name of the second he called Ephraim, for Elohim had caused me to bear fruit in the land of my affliction. And the 7 years of plenty which were in the land of Israel came to an end, and the 7 years of scarcity of food began, as Joseph had said. The scarcity of food was in all the lands, but in all the land of Israel there was bread. But when all the land of Israel hungered, and the people cried to Pharaoh for bread, Pharaoh said to all the Israelites, go to Joseph, do whatever he says to you. And the scarcity of food was over all the face of the earth, and Joseph opened all the storehouses and sold to the Israelites. The scarcity of food was severe in the land of Israel, and all the earth came to Joseph to Israel to buy grain, because the scarcity of the food was severe in all the land. Genesis chapter number 42, verse number 1, according to Hallelujah scriptures. And when Jacob saw that there was grain in Israel, Jacob said to his sons, why do you look at each other? And he said, see, I have heard that there is grain in Israel. Go down to that place and buy for us there, and let us live and not die. And Joseph's 10 brothers went down to buy grain in Israel, but Jacob did not send Joseph's brother Benjamin with his brothers. For he said, let some harm come to him. And the sons of Israel went to buy grain among those who journeyed, for the scarcity of food was in the land of Canaan. Joseph was the governor of the land. He was the one who sold to all the peoples of the land. Joseph's brother came and bowed down before him, with their faces to the earth. And Joseph saw his brothers and recognized them, but he acted as a stranger to them, spoke to them harshly, and said to them, where do you come from? And they said, from the land of Canaan to buy food. So Joseph recognized his brothers, but they did not recognize him. And Joseph remembered the dreams which he had dreamed about them, and said to them, you are spies. You have come to see the nakedness of the land. They said to him, no, my master, but your servants have come to buy food. We are all one man's sons. We are trustworthy. Your servants are not spies. But he said to them, not, but you have come to see the nakedness of the land. And they said, your servants are 12 brothers, the sons of a man in the land of Canaan, and see, the youngest is with our father today, and one is no more. And Joseph said to them, it is I spoke to you, saying you are spies, but this you shall be proven by the life of Pharaoh. You do not leave this place unless your youngest brother comes here. Send one of him and let him bring your brother while you are kept in prison. So let your words be proven to see whether
there is yet any truth in you, or else by the life of Pharaoh you are spies. And he put them all together in prison for 3 days. Now Joseph said to them the third day, do this and reap, for I revere him. If you are trustworthy, let one of your brothers be confined to your prison house, and you go bring grain for the scarcity of food of your houses, and bring your youngest brother to me. Let your words be confirmed, as you do not die. And so they did. And they say to each other, truly we are guilty concerning our brother, for we saw the distress of his right when he pleaded with us, yet we did not listen. That is why this distress has come upon us. And Reuben answered, saying, did I not speak to you, saying, do not sin against the boy, and you will not listen? And see, his blood is now required of us. And they did not know that Joseph understood them, for he spoke to them through an interpreter. And he turned himself away from them and wept, but came back to them and spoke to them. And he took Shimon from them, bound him before their eyes. Joseph commanded, and they filled their sacks with grain, and also to put back every man's silver into his sack, and to give them food for the journey. And thus it was done for them. So they loaded their donkeys with the grain and went from there. And as one of them opened his sack to give his donkey fodder at the roging place, he saw his silver, for there it was in the mouth of his sack. And he said to his brothers, my silver has been returned, and there it is in my sack. And their hearts sank, and they were afraid, saying to each other, what is this that Elohim has done to us? So they came to Jacob their father in the land of Canaan, and reported to him all that befell them, saying, the man, the master of the land, spoke to us harshly, and took us for spies of the land. But we said to him, we are trustworthy, we are not spies. We are 12 brothers, sons of our father. One is no more, but the youngest is today with our father in the land of Canaan. And the man, the master of the land, said to us, by this I know that you are trustworthy. Leave one of your brothers here with me, and take food for the scarcity of food of your household, and go and bring your youngest brother to me. Then I know that you are not spies, but that you are trustworthy. I give your brother to you, and you move about in the land. It came to be as they emptied their sack, that look, the bundle of each man's silver was in his sack. And then they and their father saw the bundles of silver, they were afraid. And Jacob, their father, said to them, you have bewailed me. Joseph is normal, and Shimon is normal, and he will take Benjamin. All this is against me. So Reuben spoke to his father, saying, take the lives of my 2 sons, if I do not bring him back to you. Put him in my hand, and myself bring him back to you. But he said, my son is not going down with you, for his brother is dead, and he is left alone. If any harm should come to him along the way in which you go, then would you bring down my gray hair with sorrow to the grave? Genesis chapter number 43, verse number 1. But the scarcity of food was severe in the land. It came to be, when they had eaten up the grain which they had brought from the Mizraim, that their father said to them, go back, buy us a little food. But Yehuda spoke to him, saying, the man vehemently warned us, saying, you do not see my face unless your brother is with you. If you let our brother go with us, we go down and buy food. But if you do not let him go, we do not go down, because the man said to us, you do not see my face unless your brother is with you. And Israel said, why did you do evil to me to inform the man that you still had a brother? And they said, the man kept asking about us, and our relatives saying, is your father still alive? Have you a brother? And we informed him according to his words. How could we know that he would say, bring me your brother down? And the elder said to Israel's father, send the boy with me, and let us arise and go and live and not die, both we and you, and also our little ones. I myself shall stand guarantor for him. From my hand you are to require him, for I do not bring him back to you and put him before you, then let me bear the blame forever. For if we had not delayed, truly by now we could have returned this second time. And their father Israel said to them, if so, then do this. Take some of the best fruit of the land in your vessels and bring a present down for the man, a little balm, little money, spices and myrrh and almonds, and take double silver in your hand, and take back in your hand silver that was returned in the mouth of your sacks. It could have been a mistake. And take your brother, let's go back to them. And El Shaddai give to you a compassion before the man, and so that he shall release your other brother Benjamin. And if I believed, I am believed. And the man took that present and Benjamin, and they took double the amount of silver in their hand, and arose and went down to Israel and stood before Joseph. And Joseph saw Benjamin with them, and said to the one of his house, bring the man home, and make a great slaughter, and prepare for these men to eat with me at noon. And the man did as Joseph said. And the man brought the men into Joseph's house. And the men were afraid because they were brought into Joseph's house. And they said, it is because of the silver which was put back into our sacks the first time that we are brought in, to throw himself upon us and fall upon us, and to take us as slaves and our donkeys too. So they came near to the man over the house of Joseph and spoke to him at the door of the house and said, oh, my master, we indeed came down the first time to buy food, but it came to be when we came to the lodging place that we opened our sacks and saw each man's silver in the month of sack, in the mouth of his sack, our silver in its weight, and we have brought it back in our hand, and we have brought down other silver in our hands to buy food. We do not know who put our silver in our sacks. But he said, peace be with you. Do not be afraid. Your Elohim and the Elohim of your father has given you treasure in your sacks. Your silver to me, and he what to wash their feet, and he gave me for Joseph's coming for the watching the present to the earth, and he said, is your father well? The old man of whom you spoke, is he still alive? And they said, your servant, our father, is in good health, he is still alive. And they bowed their heads down and did obeisance. And he lifted his eyes and saw his brother Benjamin, his mother's son, and said, this here the younger brother of whom you spoke to me? And he said, Elohim show favor to you, my son. Joseph had grief for his emotions, were deeply moved towards his brother. And he looked to weep and went into his room and wept there. Then he washed his face and came out and controlled himself and said, serve food. And they praised him by himself, and them by themselves, and the Mizraelites who ate with him by themselves, for the Mizraelites who could not eat food, the Ibrim, for that is an abomination to the Mizraelites. And they sat before him, the firstborn according to his birthright, and the youngest according to his youth. And the men looked at each other in astonishment, and he took portions to them from before him. But Benjamin's portion was 5 times as much as of the years, and they fasted, and they feasted, and they drank with him.
I'm reading from the Restoration Study Scriptures from IMYM, Genesis chapter 40. And he commanded the steward of the house, saying, fill the men's sacks with food, as much as they can carry, and put every man's money in his sack's mouth. And put my cup, the silver cup, in the sack mouth of the youngest, and his corn money. And he did according to the word that Joseph had spoken. As soon as the morning was light, men were sent away, they and their donkey. When they were gone out of the city, and not yet far off, Joseph said unto his steward, up, follow after the men, and when you dost overtake them, say unto them, Whoever you have reward for good, is not this it in which my sovereign brings, and whereby indeed divine, you have done evil in this way, and he overtook them, and he spoke unto them the same words. And they said unto him, wherefore says my sovereign, these words far be it that the servant should do according to you, the man, which we found on our sacks now, we brought again unto the land of Canaan. How then should we steal out of the sovereign house silver, gold? With whosoever of the servant is found, let him die, and will also be my sovereign daughter. And they say, now also let it be according to your words. He with whom it is found shall be servant, and you shall be. Then they split down every man's sack to its ground, and he opened every man his sack. And they searched and got at the eldest, and they left at the youngest, and the cup on the sack. Then they rendered their clothes and laded every man his donkey, and returned to the city. And Judah and his brethren came to Joseph's house. He was yet there, and they fell before him. And Joseph said unto them, what deed is this that you have done? Wot ye not as such a man as I certainly provide? And Judah said, what shall we say unto this affair? What shall we speak, or how shall we clear ourselves? Elohim hath found out the servant, good, we are obeying servant, both we and he also cup is found. And he said, far be it that I should do so, but the man whose hand the cups is found, he shall be servant. And as for you, get up in peace unto your father. Then Judah came near unto him and said, O my sovereign, let thy servant pray thee, speak a word in spring's ear, and let thy anger burn against the servant, for you art even as Pharaoh. My sovereign asked his servant, saying, have ye a father or a brother? He said unto the sovereign, we have a father, old man, the child of his old. His brother is dead. He alone is left with his mother. His father loves him. And you said unto your servant, bring him down unto me, that I may set my eyes upon him. He said unto me, that cannot leave his father. If he should leave his father die. And those said unto the servant, expect your youngest brother come down with you, you shall see them this long. It came to pass when we came up unto the servant of the father, we told him the words of my sovereign. And the father said, go again and buy us a little food. And we said, we cannot go down if our youngest brother be with us. Then we will go down, for we may not see the father's face, expect our youngest brother be with us. And your servant, my father, said, as you know that my wife bare me 2 sons, and one went out from me, and I said, surely, stone him. And they saw him not since. And if you take this also with mischief before him, you shall bring down my hair with sorrow. Now therefore, when I come to the servant father, seeing that his life is gone up in the last life, shall come to pass when he sees that the lad is us, that he will die. The servant shall bring down the stairs of the servant of the father with sorrow. The servant became surety for the land of the father, saying, bring him not unto thee, then I shall bear the now therefore I pray you, let your servant abide instead land, a bondman to my sovereign, let the lad go up to his brethren. Or how shall I go up to the father? The land be not me. This the adventure I see the king that shall come. Genesis chapter 45. Then Joseph could not refrain himself before all of them, and stood by him, and he cried, cause every man to go out from me. And there stood no man with him, but Joseph made himself known unto his brother. And I am and Joseph him. He was troubled at his presence. And Joseph said unto his brethren, come near to me, I pray. And they came near. He said, I am Joseph, your brother, whom you sold me. Now therefore, be not grieved, nor angry with yourself that you sold me here. For Elohim did send me for you to serve life. For these 2 years have the famine been in the land, and yet there are 5 years in which there shall neither be earning or harvest. And Elohim sent me here before you, to serve you as posterity in the earth, and to save your lives by a greater deliverance. So now it was not you that sent me here, but Elohim that he has made a father to Pharaoh, surveying of all his house, and a ruler throughout the land of Egypt. Haste you and go up to my fathers and beg him. Thus says the son Joseph, Elohim, surveying of all. Come down unto me, tarry not, and you shall dwell in the land of Goshen. You shall be near unto me, you and your children and your children, and your flock, and thy herds, and all that you have. There I will nourish you. There are 5 years of famine. This you and your household that has come. And behold, your eyes see, and the eyes of your brothers Benjamin, that is my mouth that speaks of you. And you shall tell me of all the glory and of all that you have seen. You shall haste and be done further here. And he fell upon his brothers Benjamin's necks and wept. Benjamin wept upon his neck. Moreover, he kissed all his brothers and wept upon them. After that, his brethren talked to him. And the fame therefore was heard in the house, saying, Joseph's brothers are come, this Pharaoh well and his servant. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, say unto thy brothers, this do take your beast and go and get you unto the land of Canaan, and take your father and your household and come unto me, and I will give you the land. You shall eat the fat. Now you had commanded this. You take your water out of the land for your little ones and for your wives, and bring your father and come. Also, regard not your staff for good and the children of Israel did so. Joseph gave them 100 pounds. He gave them provision. All of them he gave each to Benjamin. He gave 300 pieces of silver, 500 change of raiment. And to his father he sent this man 10 donkey laden with good things of Egypt, and 10 she donkey laden with bread for his father's belly. So he sent his brothers away, he departed and said unto them, see that which you fall not out by the way. And they went up Egypt and came into the land of Canaan, and Jacob his father. They told him, saying, Jacob is yet alive, he is the governor of Egypt. And Jacob had fainted, for he believed them. And they told him all the words of Joseph, which had said unto them. When he saw the wagons which Joseph had sent to carry him, the spirit of Jacob their father revived. And Israel said, it is enough. Joseph my son is yet alive. Will go see him before I die. Genesis chapter 46. And Israel took his journey with all that he had, and came to Beersheba and offered sacrifice unto Elohim of his father Isaac. The Elohim spoke unto Israel in a vision of night and said, Jacob, Jacob. He said, here I am. And he said, I am El, the Elohim of your father. Fear not to go down into Egypt, for I will there make of you a great nation. I will go down with you into Egypt, and also to bring you up again. Joseph shall put his hand upon your eyes. And Jacob rose up from Sheba, and the son of Israel carried Jacob, their father, and their little ones, and their wives in the wagon which Pharaoh had sent them to carry him. And they took their cattle, their goods they had gotten in the land of Canaan, and came into Egypt. Jacob and all his seed, his son and his son's sons with him, his daughters and his sons' daughters, and all the seed brought he with him. And there are the names of the children of Israel which came in: Jacob and his sons, Jacob's firstborn, the sons of Hanok, Phalah, and Hezron, and Carmi, and the son of Simeon, Jehu, and Jami, Ohad, and Jachim, and Zahor, Shaul, the son of An, the son of Levi, Gerishon, Ohad, and Merari, the son of Er, and Onan, and Shelah, and Perez, and Zephyr. But Er and Onan died in the land of Canaan, and the son of Perez were Hezron, and the son of Ishkar, Tola, and Pava, and Job, and Shimron, and the son of Zebulun, Sireh, and Elon, and Gahel. There be the sons of Leah, which she bare unto Jacob and Ram, with the daughter Dinah, and all the soul of the son and the daughter were 38. The son of Gad, Zephon, Hagi, Shui, Esbon, Eri, Arodi, and Areli, and the son of Asherah, and the son of Asher, Jimna, Ishua, Ishui, and Beriah, and Sarah, their sister, and the son of Beriah, Abba, and Malak. These are the sons of Zilpah, whom Laban gave to Leah, his daughter. This she bore unto Jacob, even 16 souls. The son of Rachel, Jacob's wife, Joseph and Benjamin. And Joseph in the land of Moab, Manasseh, and which Asenath, the daughter of Potiphar, priest of On, bare unto him. And the son of Benjamin, Bela, and Becher, and Ashibel, Gera, and Aman, Evi, and Rosh, Umim, and Upim, and Ared. And they are the sons of Rachel, which go to Jacob, all the soul of Jim, and the son of the Dan, Shim, and the son of Naphtali, Jahel, Guni, Jerez, and Shibren. And these are the son of Bilhah, which Laban gave unto his daughter Sheb, and she bare this unto Jacob, all the soul were 7. And all the soul that came with Jacob into Egypt, which came out of his loins, besides Jacob's son's wife and soul, were 66. And the son of Jacob which were born with were 2 souls. All the soul of Jacob came into Egypt were 60 men. And he sent Judah before them unto Joseph to direct his face out to Goshen, and they came into the land of Goshen. And Joseph made ready his chariot and went up to Israel, his father, to Goshen, and presented him, and he fell on his neck and wept on his neck a good while. And when Israel said unto Jacob, now let me die, since I have seen your face, because you art yet alive. And Joseph said unto his father's house, I will go up and show Pharaoh, say unto him, my brothers and my father's house, which were in the land of Canaan, me, and the men are shepherds, trade has been with cattle, and they have brought their flocks and their herds, and all that they have. And it shall come to pass that Pharaoh shall call you shall and shall say, what is your occupation? That you shall say, your servant trade has been above the cattle from about even little down there, even until now, both we and also our father, that you may dwell in the land of Goshen. For every shepherd is an abomination unto the Egyptians.
Genesis chapter number 47, verse number 1, according to Hallelujah Scriptures. Then Joseph went and spoke to Pharaoh and said, my father and my brothers, their flocks and their herds, and all that they possess have come from the land of Canaan, and see, they are in the land of Goshen. And he took 5 men from among his brothers and presented them to Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said to his brothers, what is your occupation? They said to Pharaoh, your servants are shepherds, both we and also our fathers. And they said to Pharaoh, we have come to dwell in the land because there is no pasture for your servants' flocks, for the scarcity of food is severe in the land of Canaan. And now, please let your servants dwell in the land of Goshen. And Pharaoh spoke to Joseph, saying, your father and your brothers have come to you, the land of Israel is before you. Settle your father and brothers in the best of the land. Let them dwell in the land of Goshen. And if you know the capable of men among them, then make them chief herdsmen over my livestock. Joseph brought in his father Jacob and stood him before Pharaoh. And Jacob baraked Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said to Jacob, how many are the days of your life? And Jacob said to Pharaoh, the days of the years of my sojournings are 130 years. Few and evil have been the days of the years of my life. They have not reached the days of the years of the life of my fathers in the days of their sojourning. And Jacob baraked Pharaoh and went out from before Pharaoh. So Joseph settled his father and his brothers and gave them a possession, the land of Mizraim, the best of the land, in the land of Rameses, as Pharaoh has commanded. And Joseph provided his father and his brothers and all his father's household with bread for the mouth of the rich ones. Now, there was no bread in all the land because the scarcity of the food was very severe in the land of Mizraim, and all the land of Canaan became exhausted from the scarcity of food. And Joseph gathered up all the silver that was found in the land of Mizraim and in the land of Canaan for the grain which they bought. And Joseph brought the silver into Pharaoh's house. And when the silver was all spent in the land of Mizraim and in the land of Canaan, all the Mizraelites came to Joseph and said, "Give us bread, for why should we die in your presence? For the silver is gone." And Joseph said, "Give your livestock, and I give you bread, for your livestock is the silver, if the silver is gone." So they brought their livestock to Joseph, and Joseph gave them bread in exchange for the horses, for the flocks they owned, and for the herd they owned, and for the donkeys. Thus he fed through the bread in exchange for their livestock that year. And when that year had ended, they came to him the next year and said to him, "We did not hide from my master that our silver is all spent, and my master also has the livestock we owned. There has not anything left before my master but our bodies and our lands. Why should we die before your eyes, both we and our land? Buy us and our land of bread, and let us and our land be servants of Pharaoh, and give us seed, and let us live and not die, and let the land not lie waste." He also brought the entire land of Israel for Pharaoh, because every man of the Israelites sold his field, because the scarcity of food was severe upon them. And the land came to be Pharaoh's, and as for the people, he moved them into the cities from one end of the borders of Israel to the other end. Only the ground of the priest he did not buy, for the priest had all allotments from Pharaoh, and they ate their allotments which Pharaoh gave them. Therefore, they did not sell their ground. And he also said to the people, "Look, I have brought you and your land today for Pharaoh. Look, here is seed for you, and you shall sow the land, and it shall be that in the harvest you shall give 1/5 to Pharaoh, and 4/5 is your own, as seed for the field and for your food, for those of your household, and as for food for your little ones." They say, "You have saved our lives. Let us find favor in the eyes of our master, and we shall become Pharaoh's servants." And Joseph made it a law over the land of Israel to this day, that Pharaoh should have 1/5 except for the ground of the priest only, which did not become Pharaoh's. And Israel dwelt in the land of Israel, the land of Goshen, and they had possessions there, and bore fruit and increased exceedingly. And Jacob lived in the land of Israel 17 years. So the length of Jacob's life was 147 years, and the time of Israel to die drew near. And he called his son Joseph and said to him, "Now if I have found favor in your eyes, please put your hand under my thigh and show kindness and truth to me. Please do not bury me in Israel. But I shall lie with my fathers, and you shall take me up out of Israel and bury me in their burial place." And he said, "I do as you have said." He said, "Swear to me." And he swore to him, and Israel bowed himself to the head of the bed, Genesis chapter number 48, verse number 1. And after this event, it came to be that it was said to Joseph, "See, your father is sick." And he took with him his two sons, Manasseh, Ephraim. And Jacob was told, "See, your son Joseph is coming to you." And Israel strengthened himself and sat up on the bed. And Jacob said to Joseph, "El Shaddai appeared to me at Luz in the land of Canaan, and balaked me. He said to me, See, I am making you bear fruit, and shall increase you, and make of you an assembly of peoples, and give this land to your seed after you as an everlasting possession. And now, your two sons Ephraim and Manasseh, who were born to you in the land of Israel before I came to you in Mizraim, are mine, as Reuben and Shimon, they are mine. Your offspring, whom you shall bring forth after them, are yours, and let them be called by the name of their brothers in their inheritance. And I, when I came from Padan
hell. Rachel died beside me in the land of Canaan on the way, when there was but a little distance to go to Ephrathah. And I buried her there on the way to Ephrathah, that is Bethlehem. And Israel saw Joseph's sons and said, Who are these? And Joseph said to his father, They are my sons, whom Elohim has given me in this place. And he said, Please bring them to me, and let me barack them. And the eyes of Israel were dim with age, and he was unable to see. And he drew them near him, and he kissed them and embraced them. And Israel said to Joseph, I had not thought to see your face, but see, Elohim has also shown me your sin. So Joseph brought them from between his knees, and he bowed down with his face to the earth. And Joseph took them both, Ephraim with his right hand toward Israel's left hand, and Manasseh with his left hand towards Israel's right hand, and brought them near him. And Israel stretched out his right hand, and laid it on Ephraim's head, who was the younger, and his left hand on Manasseh's head, consciously directing his hands, for Manasseh was the firstborn. And he baraked Joseph and said, The Elohim before whom my fathers Abraham and Isaac walked, the Elohim who has fed me all my life long to this day, the messenger who has redeemed me from all evil, mark the youth, and let the name be called upon them, in the name of my fathers Abraham and Isaac, and let them increase to a multitude in the midst of the earth, and whom yourself saw that his father laid his right hand on the head of Ephraim. It was evil in his eyes. And he took hold of his father's hand to remove it from the head of Ephraim to the head of Manasseh. And Joseph said to his father, Not so, my father, for this one is the firstborn. Put your right hand on his head. But his father refused and said, I know my son. I know. He is also becomes a people, and he is also great. And yet his younger brother is greater than he. And his seed is to become the completeness of the nations. And he baraked them on that day, saying, In you Israel shall barak, saying, Elohim, make you as Ephraim, as Manasseh. Thus he put Ephraim before Manasseh. And Israel said to Joseph, See, I am dying, but Elohim shall be with you, and bring you back to the land of your fathers. And I have given to you one portion above your brothers, which I took from the hand of the Amorite with my sword, with my bow. Genesis chapter number 49, verse number 1. And Jacob called his sons and said, Gather together, so that I declare to you what is to befall you in the last days. Gather together and hear your sons, O Jacob, and listen to Israel your father. Reuben, you are my firstborn son, my power, the beginning of my strength, the excellency and the exaltation, and the excellency of power. Unstable as waters, you do not excel. Because you went up to your father's bed, then you defiled it. You went up to my couch. Shimon and Levi are brothers. Their weapons are implements of violence. Let my being not enter their council. Let my esteem not be united to their assembly, because they slew a man in their displeasure, and they lamed an ox in pleasure. Cursed be the displeasure, for it is peace, and their wrath, for it is cruel. I divided them in Jacob and scattered them in Israel. You, Yehuda, your brothers praises you. Your hand is on the neck on your enemies. Your father's children bow down before you. Yehuda is a lion. Come from the prey. You have gone up, my son. He bowed down, he crouched like a lion, and like a lion who rouses him. The scepter shall not turn aside from Yehuda, nor a lawgiver from between his feet. Unto Shiloh comes, and unto him is the obedience of peoples, binding his donkey to the vine, and his donkey is called to the choice vine, and he washed his garments in wine and his robes in the blood of grapes. His eyes are darker than wine, and his teeth whiter than milk. The blind dwells at the seashore, he is a haven for ships, and his border is unto Sidon. Issachar is a strong donkey lying down between two burdens. And he saw that a resting place was good, and that the land was pleasant, and inclined his shoulder to bear a burden, became a subject to slavery, but downrightly rules his people as one of the tribes of Israel.
Dan is a serpent, by the way, and Ada by the path, that the bite the horse heels so that its rider falls backward. I have waited for you, for deliverance, O Yahweh. God, a raiding band raids you, but he raids its heel. Bread from Asher is rich, and he gives delicacies for a sovereign. After his idea, let rose, he gives swords to elegance. Joseph is an offshoot of a fruit-bearing tree, an offshoot of fruit-bearing tree by a fountain. His branches run over a wall, and the acres have bitterly grieved him, shot at him, hated him. But his bow remained strength, and the arms of his hands were made strong by the hands of the mighty one of Jacob. From there is the shepherd, the stone of Israel, from the El of your fathers, who helps you, and by the El Shaddai who barak you with the record of the Shamaim above the record of the deep that rise beneath the record of the beast and of the womb. The record of the Father have executed the record of my ancestors, and to the limit of the everlasting hills. They are on the head of Joseph and on the crown of the head of him who was separated from his brothers. They are many as a wolf that tears in the morning. He eats prey, and at night he divides the spoil. All these are the 12 tribes of Israel, and this is what their father spoke to them. And he baraked them, and he baraked each according to his own barakah, and he commanded them and said to them, I am to be gathered to my people, bury me with my fathers in the cave that is in the field of the Hittite, in the cave that is in the field of Macapera, which is before Mamre, in the land of Canaan, which Abraham bought with the field of Ephron the Hittite as a possession for a burial site. There they buried Abraham and Sarah his wife. There they buried Isaac, Rebekah his wife, and there I buried there the field purchased, and the cave which is in it from the sons of Heth. And when Yaakov ended commanding his sons, he drew his feet up into the bed and breathed his last, and he was gathered to his people. Genesis chapter number 50, verse number 1. And Joseph fell on his father's face and wept over him and kissed him. And Joseph commanded his servants, the physicians, to embalm his father. So the physicians embalmed Israel, and 40 days were completed for him. For so are completed the days of embalming, and the Mizrahites wept for him 70 days. And when the days of weeping for him were past, he also spoke to the household of Pharaoh, saying, If now I have found favor in your eyes, please speak in the hearing of Pharaoh, saying, My father made me swear, saying, See, I am dying, bury me in my grave, which I dug for myself in the land of Canaan. And now, please, let me go up and bury my father and return. And Pharaoh said, Go up and bury your father. And he made you swear. And Joseph went up to bury his father, and with him went up all the servants of Pharaoh, the elders of his house, and all the elders of the land of Israel, and all the houses of Joseph and his brothers and his father's house, only their little ones and their flocks and their herds and their left in the land of Goshen. There went up with him both chariots and horsemen, and it was a very great company. And they came to the threshing floor of Atad, which is beyond the Alden. And they lamented there with a great and very heavy lamentation. And he observed 7 days of mourning for his father. And when the inhabitants of the land, the Canaanites, saw the mourning, the threshing floor of Atad, they said, This is a grievous mourning for the Mizrahites. That is why its name was called Avel, Mizraim, which is beyond the Alden. And his sons did to him as he had commanded them, for his sons brought him to the land of Canaan, buried him in a cave of the field of Macapela before Mamre, which Abraham bought with the field of from Ephron the Hittite as a property for a burial site. After he had buried his father, Joseph returned to Ephraim, he and his brothers and all who went up with him to bury his father. When Joseph's brothers saw that their father was dead, they said, What if Joseph hates us and pays us back all the evil which we did to him? And they sent word to Joseph, saying, Before your father died, he commanded, saying, This is what you are to say to Joseph.
I beg you, please forgive the transgression of your brothers, their sin, for they did evil to you. And now, please forgive the transgression of the servants of the Elohim of your father, and Joseph wept when they spoke to him. His brothers also went and fell down before his face, and they said, see, we are your servants. And Joseph said to them, do not fear, for I am in the praise of Elohim. And you you intended evil against me, but Elohim intended it for good, in order to do it as it is in this day, to keep a great many people alive. And now, no fear, I provide for you and your little ones. So he comforted them and spoke kindly to them. Joseph dwelt in the Mizraim, he and his father's household. Joseph lived 110 years. Joseph saw Ephraim's children in the third generation. The children of Machir, son of Manasseh, were also brought up on Joseph's knees. And Joseph said to his brothers, I am dying, but Elohim shall certainly visit you and bring you out of this land to the land of which he swore to Abraham and to Isaac and to Jacob. And Joseph made the children of Israel swear, saying, Elohim shall certainly visit you, you shall bring up my bones from me. And Joseph died, being 110 years old, and they embalmed him, and he was placed in a coffin in Israel. That is the book of Genesis, or the book of Bereshit, up to where we are. So it's Yahweh. And so to those that are following us in Injili ya Milele ya Yeshua Messiah, and also to the Messianic Double Show, remember to subscribe and also to share and to comment. And may Yahweh do you good, the favor of Yahweh to be upon you as you continue together in this journey through the scriptures of Yahweh to know His will. So I would like to hand it over to my brother Victor and to say just a word, and then we end. That is episode 2 of Genesis, and we are done with the Genesis, and we are thankful to Yahweh. Welcome, my brother.
Hallelujah, hallelujah. All praises to our Yahweh, God's name. We are very grateful for the support, for the love that are joining us. We would like to thank you for the continued support, your prayers, and may Yahweh bless you. We have been able to complete the first book of the scriptures, the Bereshit, the beginning, and we have been able to narrow it down as Yahweh has enabled us, and we are so grateful to Yahweh. So we have been able to do one book of 66 books, 65 to go, and we just want to thank Yahweh for He has been so faithful to us. He has enabled us to do this by His mercies and by His love. Thank you so much. Continue following our social media pages, please. Follow us on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. Feel free to comment, like, and share. If you'd like a special presentation of a specific verse that you are able to read, please comment down there and say, please help me understand this verse. We'll be able to answer you there or do a small video for you and be able to send it so that you can be able to understand the scripture more. So the comment section is open. We are also live on Messianic Navar Show on Facebook and YouTube, and also on my timeline on Facebook as Victor Kiiru. And may Yahweh bless you. Thank you so much. May Yahweh bless you. Asante.